Hello friends, something unprecedented happened on March 16, 2025 that created a new term, tarpocalypse. What was that event? Let us have the full story and context. North India was awash in the glorious chaos of Holi. Streets pulsed with laughter, faces glowed with neon gulal, and the air hummed with the sticky sweet scent of thandai. Some spiked, some not, all deliciously suspect. It is the festival of colors, the great equalizer, where caste, creed, and common sense dissolve into a kaleidoscope of joy. Or at least that's how it is supposed to be. The Tarpaulin Brigade enters the scene armed with rolls of colorless plastic and a mission to save the day or ruin it, depending on who you ask. In cities and towns, mosques were swathed in these flapping shrouds before Holi, ostensibly to shield them from the deadly assault of what else? Powdered pigment. Yes, that's right. Welcome to the Great Mosque Cover-Up Conspiracy, where a festival of unity gets a political facelift one tart at a time. Let us rewind the tape and set the scene. Holi, derived from ancient legends of Krishna and Radha, has been India's riotous springtime rebellion for centuries. Think less pastoral picnic and more sanctioned paintball warfare. Historically, it has been a leveling force. Kings and peasants alike smeared in the same hues, united by the shared indignity of looking like a walking tie-dye experiment. Fast forward to 2025 and the stakes have escalated. In a handful of North Indian towns, which are hotbeds of piety and politics, local authorities decided that this year Holi's colors posed an existential threat to mosques. And the solution? Drape them in tarps. Those ubiquitous colorless sheets usually reserved for monsoon leaks or hiding your neighbor's embarrassing backyard junk pile. The official line was different, of course. And what did they say? That they were protecting sacred spaces from defilement. And what was the subtext? Look at us, we are promoting harmony. And what was the actual reality? A masterclass in absurdity that deserves its own Netflix special. First, let us dissect the stated motive, and that was supposed to be respect. Oh, how the word drips with sanctimony when uttered by the right mouths. Proponents of the apocalypse argue it is about safeguarding religious sentiments, a preemptive strike against the chaos of Holi's rainbow barrage. They assure that they were just being considerate, as if mosques are delicate snowflakes wilting under a dusting of pink powder. But here is the million rupee question. Who asked for this? Was there a secret council of imams clutching their prayer rugs, trembling at the thought of a stray splash of yellow color? Did the holy herders convene a war room plotting to turn minarets into abstract art? Or was this brainstorm hatched in the air conditioned offices of some petty bureaucrat who saw an election year looming and thought that it was time to stir up the communal pot with a plastic spoon? The evidence is suspiciously thin. No public outcry preceded the taps. No viral expos screamed, "Save our mosque from Holi." In fact, a quick scroll through the archives, say the last 500 years, reveals Holi coexisting with India's religious mosaic just fine. In 19th century Lucknow, Muslim poets wrote odes to the festival's madness, their turbans streaked with gulal. In modern day Varanasi, temples and mosques stand shoulder to shoulder, weathering worse than a little festive dust. And these are monsoons, floods, and occasional overzealous tourists. So, why in 2025 did this suddenly become a crisis? Call it a hunch, but the timing reeks of political perfume. After all, elections are on the horizon, and nothing says vote for me like a manufactured controversy draped in the guise of piety. Now let us zoom in on the real satire gold, the selectivity. Mosques got the TARP treatment, but what about temples, gurdwaras, and churches? No, sir. Apparently, Holi's colors are a precision guided missile programmed with theological GPS to target one faith alone. Temples, with their intricate carvings and open courtyards, somehow shrug off the same gulal that threatens to desecrate a minaret. Gurudwaras, which are actually bastions of community and langar, don't need plastic shields. Perhaps their sanctity comes with a built in stain repellent. And what about churches? Well, they are too busy dodging the monsoon to care about a little festive fallout. It is almost poetic. A festival born of inclusivity twisted into a tool of exclusion, one tarp at a time. The optics are laughable, or they would be if they weren't so grim. Imagine the planning meeting, a room of stern officials sipping chai, debating which buildings deserve the top VIP list. Mosques only, someone declares, slamming a fist on the table. Why? Asks a lone skeptic. Because it is needed for harmony, comes the reply, delivered with the conviction of a man who is already mentally drafting his campaign speech. Never mind that Holi has never been a zero sum game. Its colors don't discriminate unless you count the way green powder somehow always ends up in your hair for weeks. No, this is a calculated move. A dog whistle wrapped in plastic signaling to one group, we have got your back, while winking at another, conveying that see how we divide. And the absurdity doesn't stop there. A local supplier who is also a bhakt provided the tarps. Each roll cost a modest 500 rupees, but with hundreds deployed across the state, the bhakt was laughing all the way to the bank. Was there a cut for those who placed the orders? Your guess is as good as mine. Meanwhile, the environmental irony is rich. Holi, a festival rooted in nature's renewal, now comes with a non biodegradable baggage. Next year, they might take the pious wrapping to the next level of bubble wraps. Every wall will get a cushioned cocoon and all will pretend it is for general good. So, what do the people think of this tarp fueled fiasco? Oh, it is a three-ring circus, complete with clowns, tightrope walkers, and a lion's share of hot air. Some cheer the move, clutching their pearls and praising the foresight that spared mosques from a pigment apocalypse. Finally, harmony, they cry, as if peace hinges on a few square meters of plastic. Others squint through the haze of bhang and ask the obvious question. Wait, Holi has been fine forever. Why the drama now? Then there is the WhatsApp contingent, the true heroes of our tale. Within hours of the TARP unveilings, forwards zipped across India's digital hinterlands, each more unhinged than the last. So, deadly plots by ISI, CIA, and urban Naxals were thrown into the mix. By nightfall, WhatsApp University had graduated a fresh batch of experts ready to link the taps to everything from 5G towers to the price of onions. It is peak 2025, a festival of colors reduced to a black and white shouting match fueled by bad data and worse faith. And then there is the oldest trick in the book. Division dressed as unity has hijacked Holi, a celebration of spring, love, and the triumph of good over evil. The tops aren't just plastic, they are a metaphor, a flimsy shield for a society teetering on the edge of its own insecurities. India's strength has always been its ability to cram 1,000 faiths, languages, and cuisines into one glorious stew. Holi embodies that. A day when boundaries blur, when a Sikh kid pelts a Muslim shopkeeper with red powder and they both laugh over a plate of gujiyas. Yet here we are in 2025 erecting literal barriers under the guise of protecting that spirit. The irony stings harder when you dig into the numbers. Uttar Pradesh, which is home to Mathura and Bareilly, boasts over 200 million people, of which roughly 20% are Muslims and 80% Hindus. And all the 100% of them are dead tired of political theatre. In 2024, the state logged communal flare-ups most tied to land disputes or loudspeaker wars, but not Holi. If anything, the festival's been a rare bright spot, a pressure valve for tensions. So, why poke the monster now? Simple votes. With state elections looming in 2026, every divisive act counts. It is governance by gimmick, and we are all unwilling extras in the show. So, where does this leave us? Holi 2025 will go down as the year in which joy got a plastic escort, a cautionary tale of how even the purest traditions can be co opted by the dirtiest agendas. The Taps didn't protect harmony, they mocked at it, turning a festival of togetherness into a stage for petty power plays. And the saddest part, it actually worked. The X posts are buzzing, the WhatsApp groups are ablaze, and somewhere a politician is counting likes instead of votes as for now. He will be counting votes later on. That's why he's counting the likes. And here is the kicker. Holi has survived worse. It outlasted Mughal skepticism, British disdain, and that awkward phase in the 90s when synthetic colors turned everyone's face with a chemical burn. It will survive the tarpocalypse too because at its core it is bigger than the bureaucrats and politicians who try to box it in. However, next year let us brace for drones dropping tarps from the sky, temples wrapped in cling film, and a new tax on laughter because if India's leaders can turn colors into a crisis, nothing is off the table. Happy Holi, folks, or whatever is left of it after the plastic settles down.